The next day, we flew to the South Pole, where fewer than 4,000 people have ever stood, and every direction is north.
Landed at the South Pole! Woo! We finally landed at the South Pole. I'm standing outside of the station right now. As you can see in back of me, there is a wide expanse of ice.
2 miles of ice to be exact. A 2-mile thick ice sheet on top of bedrock below. And a brand new station where 250 people in the summer and 50 people in the winter live and work. There are 2 poles at the South Pole. One is at the geographic South Pole.
This is the geographic South Pole marker. But the ice sheet they were on, the East Antarctic or Greater Antarctic ice sheet, actually moves. It's a glacier, so it moves very, very slowly towards the ocean. And so every year, at the first of the year, they have to move the pole marker about 30 feet.
The other is the ceremonial pole, which they don't move as often, and it's great for photo opportunities. We traveled by Piston Bully to tour some of the most important science projects going on in Antarctica, such as the South Pole Telescope.
Yeah, so I'm John Carlstrom. I'm a professor at the University of Chicago, and I'm the PI for the 10-meter South Pole Telescope. And that's a telescope that observes microwave radiation, so millimeter wavelengths. What we're after, what we're studying, and what motivates us is that we want to look at the radiation essentially is coming from the Big Bang. It's the fossil radiation from the Big Bang. So this is radiation which, for the most part, has been traveling to us unperturbed. You know, it's from the very early universe, about 13.7 billion years ago. And it allows us to take a snapshot, see what the universe was like. And when we develop those pictures and look at them, what we're seeing is the baby infant picture of what our universe looked like. And right here is one of the very first maps we ever made. And you might say, well, you know, that looks like noise. And in fact, that's what the early universe looks like.
The IceCube telescope is trying to do the same thing, but in a very different way.
Building a neutrino telescope. Basically, this telescope is very unique because what we're doing is we're drilling holes into the ice, and we're drilling holes almost 2.5 kilometers deep. So for us to drill these holes like this, 2.5 kilometers deep, we do it in a fairly straightforward manner. We use pressurized hot water and melt the ice.
This is one of the drill holes. Detectors are lowered into each hole and frozen in place, where they will remain for thousands of years. They detect neutrinos, invisible high-energy particles from the Big Bang and other cosmic events that can only be observed when they interact with the dark, clear ice below the pole. The South Pole supposedly has the cleanest air in the world, so it's a great place to monitor the atmosphere. At the Atmospheric Research Observatory, manager Nick Morgan measures atmospheric parameters such as greenhouse gas and ozone levels.
Basically, we're seeing trends such as like CO2 is rising at a steady rate. The ozone hole it's not recovering yet, so we're starting to see that decline in CFCs, and we're expecting ozone to recover soon after, within the next 10 to 20 years.
Meteorology manager Tim Markle launches weather balloons twice a day for the entire year. When it comes to weather, Tim has seen it all. This will be a second full winter that he spends at the South Pole.
Wintertime, when maybe the temperature's still a little bit cold, maybe minus 60, minus 70, and then those winds shift and start picking up, and we can see wind chills down around minus 150 degrees.
Speaking of weather, a thick fog rolled in and our plane couldn't land, so we stayed the night at a place called Summer Camp.
It's about negative 25 right now, Fahrenheit, and it's sunny, even though it's midnight.